सर मैं अपना मैम एक बार फोन कर लीजिए एक पहले आया ज्वाइन किया Uh, Justice Dinesh Maheshwari is joining shortly. All are requested to please be there on time and switch off your camera if it is not needed, and also to mute yourself. Only those people who are speaking and on the dais and dignitaries are requested to switch on their camera. Students and other people are requested to please switch off your camera. Honorable Justice will join within 2-3 minutes.
I will ask you to start your video.
This is to inform you all that Honorable Justice Dinesh Maheshwari has already joined. With his permission, we'll start the meeting after 2-3 minutes. Honorable Justice has already joined. We'll start within 2-3 minutes with his permission.
Good evening, Justice. Good evening, good evening.
I'm not getting audio. Sir, one speaker.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening, good evening.
I hope all your programs went on very well and
Yeah.
everything concluded.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Namaste. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks to all of you, sir, giving me this opportunity to be with all of you.
It is our pleasure, sir. We are privileged.
See, this is privilege is all mine. So nice.
No.
Good evening, Lordship.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. How are you, sir?
All well, all well. Hope you are also well, sir.
Yeah, going on. I hope everybody is fine from this second wave of corona, as they say.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We are taking extra precautions.
We have to, all of us have to.
Your Lordship, if you will allow, we can start in 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, please. It is convenient to all of you. Yeah.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you.
A very good evening to all present here. On behalf of the organizing committee, management, staff, and students of Lloyd Law College, I, Debataja, welcome you all to the valedictory function of the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition, Law Students, Conference, and South Asian Colloquium 2020-21. We are delighted and honored to have amongst us our distinguished guests. I would like to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar, Senior Professor, Indian Law Institute, former member, Law Commission of India, Honorary South Asian Mooting Administrator, Mr. Manohar Therani, President, Lloyd Law College, Chairperson, Founding Committee, South Asian Mooting Competition, Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, Advisor, South Asian Mooting Competition, Ms. Anju Jain, Advocate, High Court of Delhi and Chief Coordinator, South Asian Mooting Competition, Dr. Lisa Pulukos, Professor, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University and National Administrator, India, Dr. Mohammad Salim, Director, Lloyd Law College, General Coordinator, South Asian Mooting Competition, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, Deputy Director, Lloyd Law College, Organizing Secretary, South Asian Mooting Competition, Dr. Madhukar Sharma, Deputy Director, Academics, Lloyd Law College, Dr. Meera Furtado, Head of Law and Social Sciences, University of Sussex, International Studies Center, Mr. Ravi Prakash, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India, Academic Administrator, South Asian Mooting Competition. The country heads of the South Asian Mooting Competition, Professor Dr. Muhammad Rahmat Ullah, Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Tara Prasad Sapkota, Nepal, Professor V.T. Thamalmaran, Sri Lanka. The National Administrators, Mr. Prashanta B. Barua, Bangladesh. Mr. Lobsang Rinjing Yarge, Bhutan. Dr. Mariam Jabin, Maldives. Mr. Keshar Mani Aryal, Nepal. Ms. Indra P. Samara Singhe, Sri Lanka. Dr. Sagi Geetha Sethu, Dubai. The distinguished dignitaries and adjudicators of the competition. Thank you all. We are delighted to have you here on this important evening.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Manohar Thairani, President, Lloyd Law College. Mr. Thairani is a chartered accountant with diverse and extensive experience of over 25 years in the fields of business and management. An industry professional who was equally passionate about advancing the cause of education, saw a gap in the current education system for an institute that could produce industry-ready professionals, which led to the establishment of Lloyd Law College in the year 2003 to facilitate quality education in the field of law. He launched the Lloyd Law College with a focus to embody legal education with principles, practices, and polities in the curriculum to ensure that a graduating student had the confidence to face the dynamic and demanding Indian industry. Under his guidance, the Law College has successfully endeavored to create for itself a niche in the field of legal education in India and bagged the Institutional Excellence Award in 2018.
Thank you, Kasik. Respected Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Sir, Judge Supreme Court of India, esteemed guest, Mr. R. Venkatramani, Sir, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, Professor S. Sivakumar, Sir, South Asian Mooting Administrator, Senior Professor, Indian Law Institute, and former member, Law Commission of India, Mr. Ramakrishnan Menon, Dr. Lisa P. Lucas, National Administrator, SAC Law Mooting Competition, Advocate Ravi Prakash, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India, eminent dignitaries, country heads, and National Administrator of the South Asian Mooting Competition, Director Sir, Deputy Director Sir, faculty members, and my dear participants. Good evening to all of you and welcome to Lloyd. It's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to welcome all distinguished guests to the valedictory function of 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition, Students' Conference, and South Asian Colloquium. At the outset, I thank all of you for making this program such a vibrant, meaningful, and inspiring experience. It was 2 exciting and eventful days as we successfully completed 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition. It was satisfactory to see the participation of the 18 teams from South Asian region. The Indian round of the competition was also conducted virtually at national level to select 8 best teams to represent India in the SAC round. It has been our privilege to host the competition for the first 4 editions of this competition under the direct supervision of our guru and our mentor, Padma Bhushan Professor N.R. Madhava Menon, Sir. We are fortunate to have with us today Mr. Ramakrishnan Menon, Menon Sir's son, who is also keen to take forward Sir's legacy. I am very grateful towards Madhava Menon Sir's family and Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar Sir for entrusting and guiding us and also wholeheartedly supporting us in the conduct of this event. I am honored to welcome the esteemed guests and eminent legal luminaries who are present here to be part of this flagship event of the college. We are extremely delighted and greatly honored by the presence of Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Sir. I express my sincere and heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Lordship for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of the valedictory function. Respected Lordship, is truly inspiration to all of us, and I'm positive that Honorable Lordships will enthuse our newest generation of legal professionals and students who have joined us from various countries. Respected Lordship, it is with immense pleasure that we welcome you as a chief guest of the valedictory function of the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition. A very, very warm welcome to you, Lordship.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, Organizing Secretary of the event and Deputy Director, Lloyd Law College, to deliver the report of the competition.
Thank you. A very good evening to the chief guest and all present here in the valedictory. Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable judges of the final round of the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition. Honorable Mr. Justice Shiran Gunaratne, Judge Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge High Court of Calcutta. Honorable Mr. Justice Siddharth Mirdul, Judge High Court of Delhi. Honorable Mr. Justice Piyush Agrawal, Judge High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Pathak, Judge High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. Our distinguished dignitaries, Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar, Senior Professor, Indian Law Institute. Mr. Manohar Therani, President, Lloyd Law College. Mr. R. Venkatramani, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Professor Dr. Lisa P. Lukos, Professor, Guru Gobind Singh University. Mr. Ramakrishna Menon, Dr. Mohammed Salim, Director, Lloyd Law College. Dr. Madhukar Sharma, Deputy Director, Academics. Dr. Meera Furtado, Head of Law Sciences, University of Sussex. Mr. Ravi Prakash, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India. The country heads of South Asian Mooting Competition, Professor Dr. Muhammad Rahmatullah from Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Tara Prasad Sapkota from Nepal, Professor Dr. V.T. Thamal Maran from Sri Lanka, the national administrators, Mr. Prashanta P. Barwa from Bangladesh, Mr. Lobzang Ringzi from Bhutan, Dr. Mariam Zabin from Maldives, Mr. Kesharmani Ariel from Nepal, Mrs. Indira P. Samar Singhe from Sri Lanka, Dr. Sagi Geeta from Dubai, adjudicators from the bar, academia, and dear students. Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition was envisaged by Lloyd Law College with an aim to provide the right academic and simulated exposure to the budding law students and polish their skill sets further. The competition was conceptualized by Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar. Over a period of 6 years, it has brought a paradigm shift in law education and training in the South Asian countries and is doing the much needed task of connecting the legal fraternities not just across South Asian countries but beyond. This year, we have representation from Dubai too. Through the past 1 year, the world has become a standstill, and we, like everyone else, has tried to shift to the virtual mode. And if I may say this today, at the valedictory function of South Asian round, we have been successful. It has been a matter of privilege and great pride to hold the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition, Law Students Conference, and the Colloquium 2020-21. This competition has been organized under the technical support from MILAT, Menon Institute of Legal Advocacy Training, Trivandrum. It had a humble beginning 6 years back, and within half a decade, the competition has extended beyond South Asian region. This edition, including Dubai too, and next year we hope to include more South Asian countries. The aim of the competition is to make the South Asian region an example to the world in legal education and also to bring a significant change in the manifestation of justice by bringing together the legal fraternity across the South Asian nations. As stated by Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar in the inaugural function, that the aim is to work for citizens and fellow citizens across borders and to contribute to the legal education leading to maintain ethical standards. There were 2 stages of the competition, the India round and the South Asian round. The India round of the competition was held from 6th to 8th November 2020, where a total of 8 teams from India qualified for South Asian round. The South Asian round witnessed a participation from 18 teams from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Maldives, Dubai, and India, held at Lloyd Law College, Greater Noida via virtual mode. The theme of this year's competition was climate change and protection of marine ecosystem vis-a-vis economic development. There were 4 stages of the competition: the preliminary round, quarters, semi-finals, and the final round. The first 3 rounds were judged by over 70 adjudicators from the bar, bench, and academia. The final round was judged by 5 sitting judges from Sri Lanka and India. Honorable Mr. Justice Siran Gunaratne, Judge Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bandal, Judge High Court of Calcutta. Honorable Mr. Justice Siddharth Mridul, Judge High Court of Delhi. Honorable Mr. Justice Piyush Agrawal, Judge High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Pathak, Judge High Court of Judicature at Allahabad. Along with this, a law students conference with students from the above mentioned countries was also held. In the conference, a total of 18 research articles on the theme COVID-19 pandemic, ethical, social, and legal issues were presented. The idea of the conference is to provide a forum for interaction among the law students of South Asian region and from other institutions abroad for excellence in legal education, quality legal research, and professional development. A third event, which aimed at engaging academicians, law practitioners, and members of the bench to deliberate on a significant issues, was held. The Commonwealth Comparative Constitutional and Public Law Colloquium on Rights and Liberties in Pandemic, Constitutional Challenges, and Judicial Response in SAARC countries was held on 20th and 21st March 2021. Honorable Mr. Justice Abu Tahir Muhammad Saifur Rahman, Judge Supreme Court of Bangladesh, High Court Division, was the chief guest of the inaugural function of the colloquium. The distinguished speakers of the technical sessions of the colloquium included the judges from the Supreme Court of South Asian region, vice chancellor from law schools, faculty members from renowned institutions across the South Asian region, including Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Maldives, and advocates and members of the bars. Each of them initiated very strong deliberations. There were 3 sessions of the colloquium. As the organizing secretary of the South Asian competition, I would like to say that the organizing committee has continuously strived for a fair and transparent competition. All the rounds have diligently maintained fairness and transparency, right from the compilation of moot proposition to the adjudication of each round. Each step of the competition, the compilation of the moot proposition, evaluation of memorials, and the adjudication of competition is done under scholarly guidance of the academia, bar, and bench. The organizing committee has industriously aimed at providing a healthy mooting of experience to every single competing team in the competition. As we wait to host the 7th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition in Law Students Conference 2021-22 SAARC round from I take this opportunity to congratulate in advance the winners of the competition. This competition, like the previous competitions, would not have been a success without the continuous efforts of our student volunteers. Our volunteers have been active under the unprecedented pandemic situation too to make this event a grand success. I hope your experience at the competition, though via an online mode, was a pleasant one. And to you all, I also extend the invitation for the 7th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition, wherein we are aiming to go much beyond these borders, which will announce soon. On behalf of the organizing committee, I reassert that we have organized a fair and transparent competition, and you all are free to share your suggestions, if any. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As per the schedule, Advocate Anju Jain, the chief coordinator of this competition, was to give a special address. But due to Mom's ill health, she has not been able to join. Mom has shared her regret with the organizing committee and has extended her best wishes to the competitors.
Have amongst us Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar. Professor Sir is the South Asian Mooting Administrator and a Senior Professor at the Indian Law Institute, New Delhi. He is also a former member of the Law Commission of India and Chairman, Menon Institute of Legal Advocacy Training. He is the recipient of National Law Day Award 2008 for his contribution to legal education reform activities. Sir, may I now request you to address the gathering.
Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge, Supreme Court of India, respected Sri R. Venkatramani, Senior Advocate and Chief Advisor of this program, Mr. Ramesh Menon, son of our Guru, Professor N.R. Madhava Menon, Mr. Manohar Tairani, President, Lloyd Law College, and founding chairman of this competition, my colleagues of national administrators, country heads of SARC region, Professor Dr. Lisa P. Lucas, Professor, Indraprastha University, and National Administrator India, Mr. Ravi Prakash, National Administrator Academics. Lordship, he only made this, formulated the problem for this moot court competition. Other foreign academics, deans and professors of various international and Indian universities, advocates, most importantly, the budding lawyers, participants of this competition, other dignitaries, Professor Muhammad Salim, Director and General Coordinator of this program, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, Deputy Director and Organizing Secretary, and other faculty members and students of Lloyd. A very good evening to one and all. Let me begin by paying homage to my Guru, Professor N.R. Madhava Menon, in whose memory we have assembled here. I am happy to experience that he continues to live here amongst us through the legal minds which strokes to bring social transformation and legal reformation. Let me congratulate my young friends, the students from various law schools in South Asia region who could make it to the South Asian round and who have been lucky enough to win the prestigious moot court competition. I am sure that those who could win and all those could participate could also learn the importance of familiarizing with the proportionate admixture of reading, observation, participation, and practice in the journey as a lawyer. No one can learn the driving without getting into the road and overcoming fear of traffic. Same way, no one can learn swimming without actually swimming and overcoming the fear of water. Similarly, you cannot learn law without practicing it. Every moot help and make you think and behave like a lawyer. Lordship, this moot had many special features. This is the 6th edition. This is the first online SAR crowd. We extended our moot to UAE and European Union region in this edition. This is the first round wherein we had a team from UAE, Dubai. We nominated 2 more international national administrators for this region, the UAE as well as the European Union. This was a round we could successfully conclude despite many barriers posed by the pandemic. Honorable Justice, we could learn many lessons from this edition. As a South Asian administrator, I am happy to see that the moot is extending its reach and it is growing leaps and bounds over the past years. I am extremely happy to announce the launch of Global Jural Conclave from next edition. We are working out the feasibility of this. I am also would like to use this opportunity to express my deep sense of gratitude to Mr. Manohar Tairani for voluntarily extending all resources and logistics, both financial and human. For making this moot event in a great way. We are blessed to have the patronage of Professor Madhava Menon, who is our guiding force and in whose honor we are assembled here. I acknowledge with thanks the contribution of our senior advocate, Mr. Venkatramani, all mooting administrators, judges of various rounds, especially from abroad, as well as our sitting judges from Indian High Court and Sri Lankan Supreme Court. And also we have academics and lawyers together evaluated the memorial. I express my thanks to Mr. Robin Jacob, Advocate Supreme Court, and Dr. Anida Patel, Professor in Bangalore. And also there is a students conference evaluated the student paper as well as the deliberation by Professor Ragesh Chopra, Dr. Jijimon, and Robin Jacob. I express my sincere thanks to all. This event was possible at this manner and style only because of the hard work of Lloyd faculty, staff, and students under the leadership of Mr. Manohar Tairani, the vibrant director Muhammad Salim, and Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, Deputy Director. I also use this opportunity to appreciate the efforts put by the esteemed faculty, Dr. Kavita Chalakyal, Dr. Madhukar Sinha, Mr. Naveen, along with a group of vibrant student volunteers. I also thank my colleague, Professor Lisa P. Lucas, to meticulously going through entire aspect of the initial stage to the final round of this competition, judging, and result formulating. I express a sincere thanks to her. I thank all the participants in a very special way to whom we owe the success of this competition. I wish you a very bright career in law. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We also have amongst us Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, a long-standing senior advocate of Supreme Court of India. Mr. Venkat Ramani is a former member of the Law Commission of India and an advisor to the South Asian Mooting competition. Sir, may I request you to address the gathering?
Great delight and pleasure. Let me first offer my gratitude and thanks to Honorable Justice Maheshwari, and also my extreme sense of delight and happiness to the other honorable judges who have been gracious enough to lend their time to judge the final mooting event, and also to spare encouraging words for those who are participating in this wonderful event. For me, 6 years since the event got kick-started seemed to have just vanished into thin air like anything. As a student of Professor Menon long back in 1974 to 1977, I have traveled a long way with him, right from his early experimentation in the Bangalore Law School, the visions about legal education being transformed over a period of time into justice education. A great theme which was very close to Professor Menon's heart. And I'm sure that beyond establishing law schools and beyond the time and resources he invested in the National Judicial Academy and across different fora and in different capacity, his contributions are so immense. I'm sure one day I'll be fortunate enough to chronicle them together and put them in the context of the theme which is so close to his heart and how did it really blossom into a global phenomenon. And it is in that context, we as the students thought that we should continue to have this event celebrated year after year without fail. And I say, every year we have been assembling with a vibrant physical environment in Lawyers Law School, when students with their joyful faces and the great encouraging presence of judges from across the countries. While we are missing all of them, I think we are not missing them in a different sense, because the virtual technology is also a great uniting tool. Thankful to that, and we are able to engage ourselves in this very meaningful exercise today. And I don't propose to talk about the progress that took place in the course of the 2.5 days with various events which we arranged as part of this sixth moot court competition. But I want to share with the honorable judges and the academia and the national administrators and students particularly that events like this are not merely knowledge acquisition exercises. In the physical world, if we had assembled together, it would have been an entirely different scenario. We would have physically interacted with each other. We would have shared our cultures, our civilization, our knowledge, our understanding, our compassion, our care, and everything that a human being can, cherish to possess. That we are not able to do that does not matter at all. But events like this will always be focal points for young students. And while you are a student, and after you graduate from law institutions, that you are becoming part of a larger world where you will begin to usher in new understanding, new relationships, new manners of looking at old ways of relationships, a new perspective on social orders. I think therefore the importance of competitions like this is not really that you will have a mooting exercise. Professor Sivakumar mentioned about thinking like a lawyer. I suggest many of you pick up a very interesting book written by Frederick Scheuer on a book titled Thinking Like a Lawyer. And there he talks about what's the difference between a lawyer's reasoning or the reasoning of a mathematician or a politician or an economist. Very interesting insights are available. Therefore, there is something called a legal reasoning, something called thinking like a lawyer, which makes the lawyer's thinking process very different and unique from the other thinking processes. So mooting is one such important event which is available to you to build and to be able to think really like a lawyer. Therefore, this great opportunity Please exploit it as much as you can year after year and be part of this great momentum in honor of Professor Madhava Menon. I just want to have a few more reflections before I hand over request Justice Maheshwari to address us. The COVID-19 is a phenomenon of multiple challenges. The criticisms we thoughtfully share or even loosely exchange, notwithstanding the frailties, the deficiencies, the inadequacies of governmental responses are by now fairly documented across the globe. Some years hence, when historians will chronicle the COVID-19 part of human history, like what has been done about several pandemics in the past, they would have written a special chapter on how this pandemic changed history, focusing on role of constitutions, governance, rights, and more importantly, about the role of constitutional courts. This supposition is not fanciful, but very real. I had a quick survey of how courts have been able to grapple with this, both in terms of functional efficiency and also in terms of their contribution to advancement of quality administration of justice. So a quick survey of the global judicial role during the past 1 year, the endeavors and the shortcomings in the delivery with the courts, the intricate issues and problems involved in extending judicial services to a wide cross-section of the community, all show that we need to travel a long way before we can announce that access to justice has become an unqualified reality. I understand that when we thought of standing by Professor Menon in this very important exercise, we would probably looking at access to justice from an entirely qualitatively different point of view. And many ideas keep coming as we move year after year. And one important idea which has come to our mind today in the concluding course of our program, that Lloyd's Law School and VILAC, in collaboration with various other well-meaning academics, would be probably think of launching Professor Menon's event as a global jural conclave. And the idea is South Asia, like many countries in the southern part of the world, were colonial histories. And South Asia, after its freedom from colonial history, has greatly contributed to judicial, enrichment of constitutional functioning. And I thought, with Professor Menon's pet theme, we should continue. And the role of South Asian countries, and as we move further, the role of many past colonial countries, and their post-colonial constitutional avatars, what best they can do by understanding the unfathoming conflicts between rights and duties, the unfathoming conflicts between the various sections of the community demanding equal access, equality, and so on and so forth. And that's where we stand today. I am extremely thankful to Justice Dinesh Maheshwari once again, and all the honorable judges who have made this wonderful event a very memorable part of our 2020. And to just conclude, the theme for the judicial colloquium was also designed to address over a period of time all dimensions of access to justice. And I'm sure we will be enriched by the addresses by the honorable guest. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, sir. It is an honor to introduce the chief guest of the function. I now introduce Honorable Mr. Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge, Supreme Court of India. His Lordship graduated in law from Jodhpur University in 1980 and enrolled as an advocate in 1981. He practiced mainly civil and constitutional sides. In the year 2004, his lordship took oath as judge of Rajasthan High Court. Further, he was transferred to Allahabad High Court in the year 2014. It was in February 2016 that his lordship was sworn in as Chief Justice of High Court of Meghalaya and transferred to Court of Karnataka in February 2018. He took oath as Judge of Supreme Court of India on 18 January 2019. We are highly privileged and honored to have you amongst us, Your Lordship. May I request His Lordship to kindly give the valedictory address.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. As a very good evening to all. As they always say that when you are the last speaker in a valedictory function, you have nothing more to say except saying I agree, because whatever is to be said has already been said. A few thoughts, of course, in continuity with what the learned speakers before me have said, I'd like to share. And I'm sure that the discussions and discourses of today and the past 2 days are going to take us ahead in what has been proposed as the Global Jural Conference in the coming time, and everybody would be definitely looking forward for yet further broad-based, meaningful conferences, and not only holding of the conferences, but meaningful takeaways from them, a meaningful insight to particularly to our law students. And of course, we all, as we say that once we are a student of law, we always remain and continue to remain students of law for all times to come. So for a student of law to, as Venkatamani sir was indicating about thinking as a lawyer, well, when you look at thinking as a lawyer, the first part of the instructions is that you make it sure that you always remain a learner. You do not ever compliment yourself that your learning process is over, because once you are sure that you have learned everything, well, that is the last day and the last point of your progression. So we all continue to remain students of law, and our system has been so kind to all of us, the judges, the lawyers, the law professors, the other policy makers have always been consistently working in ensuring that a thought process of the fraternity called lawyers, the thought process of the fraternity of all of us never ends. Every day, every moment, we add on to what we have hitherto thought, learned, and thereby we always look for a better tomorrow. And that is what all of us are all about. The learned senior advocate, respected Shri Venkatramani sir, I'm indeed thankful to you having given me this opportunity to be sharing this moment with all of you. Mr. Manohar Thairani sir, the President, Lloyd Law College and the Chairperson, Founding Committee. Professor Shivakumar sir is always vibrant and always at the forefront of the progression of the law and the legal education in our country. Professor Lisa Lucas, National Administrator, India. And I'm told, as was being indicated, that she had been methodically looking after the accurate results of accurate holding and then results of this mooting competition and also the conference. The other learned participants from the honorable judges, the law students, professors from all the participating countries, my fellow colleagues, the learned judges of the different high courts, the learned professors, students, ladies, gentlemen. As we all know, Professor N.R. Madhava Menon had been one of the pioneers of the legal education in this country. And his legacy goes on, as Venkatramani sir would indicate and would gather from all the learned speakers, that Professor Madhava Menon, the thoughts, the approaches, the principles are always vibrant and lively with all of us. The Lloyd Law College has indeed been rendering yeoman services to the entire system of legal education, with not only ensuring the erudite faculties making it sure that the students imbibe all the basics, not only the texts, but the context as also the textures of law. And then they become, well, the torchbearers for tomorrow. Compliments to Lloyd Law College, having organized such a wonderful event where they have combined up with the Mooting competition and also the Law Students Conference and Colloquium with more or less similar topics, interlace topics, but very relevant and in the present day context, the topics on which the legal fraternity would definitely be looking for meaningful discussions and exchange of ideas. Climate change and protection of marine ecosystem vis-a-vis economic development will remaining a question mark in various of the international conferences, various of international discourses, and also in the national discourses, practically at every level. The Students' Law Conference with COVID-19, putting COVID-19 as the basic theme, and then looking at the ethical, social, and legal issues surrounding COVID-19. Definitely, COVID-19 is one particular phenomena which nobody on the globe, particularly the Homo sapiens, we the species, and none of us could say that he has remained unaffected, has not felt the effects of it one way or the other. Our responses, yes, as Venkatramani sir has rightly said, that well, someday when some accounts would be drawn up as to what was the response of the humanity. Well, several things will go there in the reckoning. I would add on to all what is said about COVID-19 pandemic, that the collaborative efforts of the humanity as a whole, all of us, had been remarkable. And it has shown that in COVID-19, though serious challenges it has posed, but at the same time, it has shown that humanity as a whole is always able to stand up together in the face of this kind of an enemy from outside called, well, this novel coronavirus. As we know about this kind of a response, maybe a bit different from what the response has been at the present point of time. About a century back has been there when the globe was faced with Spanish flu. But yes, the there had been, and any further study would definitely show as to what were the differences in approaches of the humanity as a whole towards these two similar nature challenges. Well, a particular ailment affecting a particular ailment with no specific treatment in sight, but yes, the challenges, how they were faced, how they were tackled 100 years back, and at this point of time, there are several common features, and one of the features which would be striking any commentator would be that, well, humanity has always faced these adversities with a common confidence, with a hope with each other, sharing the hope and faith with each other. That is the hallmark of the species called Homo sapiens. And yes, our COVID-19 has taught us so many things. It has posed challenges. In fact, even today when we are talking of, the challenges are continuing, as they would say somewhere. Even the second wave of COVID-19 seems to be, well, propping up. But yes, we are dealing with that also. And the challenges from maybe the different countries have responded in a different manner, but I'm not talking of those measures which are taken by our health workers or our health institutions. The measures which are taken by the community as a whole, by the people at large, by all of us together, they are very, very relevant, and they are going to remain relevant always. That is what we feel like. The rights and liberties in pandemic, yes, they had been in question. There had been several questions, but they were not much of the making of anybody, but they were making of the circumstances. We have dealt with those circumstances also, and every country has dealt with it. The theme for the colloquium, that is again the must have, with these deliberations with the learned speakers, must have given a great insight, particularly to our young law students, that how we look at our constitutional studies also vis-a-vis any kind of challenges which come up before us. Talking of our South Asian region, when I was informed about the fact that several of the countries from South Asia would be participating, the participants from several of the countries would be here joining together with the honorable judges, the learned professors, the budding students. I was reminded of the theme of one of the expeditions which Sir Edmund Hillary, the first climber of Mount Everest with Tenzing Norgay, he took, that was his expedition in about the year 1977 or so, when he attempted to climb river Ganges, the sacred river of India, from its meeting point at the sea called Ganga Sagar. So from Ganga Sagar going upwards towards the summit, towards one of the peaks of Himalayas, the expedition was named Ocean to Sky. And when we people of South Asia are meeting together, we can very surely will draw a parallel that we have amongst us the pearl of ocean, Sri Lanka, and to the heights touching the sky, Nepal, all of us together. And when the conference of all of us includes the depths of sea and the heights of sky, I'm sure our discussions and our collaborations is going to go a long way. Friends, talking of our reason, apart from the comparative studies on law, we have learned from each other. Well, it would be useful for our law students, particularly the younger people, to remember, to remind themselves and to appreciate that how much in common the countries and the population of this region shares with itself. You would recollect only a few days back in Afghanistan, a part of South Asia, Bamnia Buddha's 3D images were replayed 20 years after those sculptures were destroyed. That is lying in the central valley of Afghanistan. It was recently in the month of March only, 12th March or so. Buddhism, which prospered from this very region, progressed and spread not only in this region but all over to the world. Bamnia Buddha was regarded as one of the masterpieces of Gandhara art. The art of this region, when you look at whether the ruins of Vijayanagara Empire at Hampi to Taj Mahal, they are different. You look at several of the 10th century to 15th century temples. You look at various features where we find that in this region, well, the civilizations have come, joined together and flourished. The confluence of civilization, the amount of confluence of civilizations which is available to this particular region of the globe is very difficult to find a parallel anywhere else in the world. There are so many things very interesting about this particular region where we live. Well, it would be interesting to remember unique features for every country. Like when, apart from all other aspects, well, we remember Sri Lanka is the country where, in this region, one of the first broadcasting system was established in the year 1923, when it came to be known as Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Radio Ceylon, it is known now as Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Radio Ceylon. So, see, these are the things what I was indicating in these bits and pieces is, there are so many things which this region has to offer in terms of, well, the depth and determination of the professionals, determination of the people as such, and then of professionals of this particular region who have contributed towards the systematic growth of the civilizations all over. What we need to do is to tap all these our resources, well, be proud of our past, and then look for a better tomorrow, go on working for it. When we talk of the things related with climate, when we talk of the things related with climate and climate changes, their effects, the problems of the ecological imbalances, one of the facts that always come to our discussions are about the indigenous people of this region and their contribution. Friends, again, this region has a uniqueness of its own, and so far as indigenous people are concerned, well, whether they are in the Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, from Rajasthan to Odisha to West Bengal to Andamans in India, to the coastal areas of Lanka, from Jarawas of Andaman to Vedas of Lanka. Well, just it is to name a few. The indigenous people of this region have been the true protectors of Mother Earth. They had been contributing towards the maintaining of the nature's gifts to us by simply living with it and not disturbing it. Yes, these people, we have got a lot many things which these people have to offer in terms of our learning, our policy, and refining our thoughts about, well, sustainable development as we look at the economic development on one hand and maintaining the balance with the ecology on the other hand. We could learn a lot from them, but at the same time, we need to respect, well, the traits of those indigenous people, their ethos. In that regard is when it comes to the legal systems, the framers of particularly the Constitution of India made it sure that tribal autonomy was preserved. These people, broadly referred as the tribal people. Schedule 5th and 6th of our Constitution, the Constitution of India particularly, is a great study for anybody not only to understand that, well, what particular rights have been conferred or what special rights have been conferred on the Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 regions and the people covered by that. But then those provisions give us an insight as to what is needed for maintaining the autonomy of the indigenous people and how we can integrate those principles in our other walks of life, in our other areas of functioning. Friends, some enactments of our country, India, particularly like the scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers, Recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006. Well, they are the enactments, again, of a relevant study for anybody who is particularly looking at, well, conservation of the pristine beauty, the originality of our Mother Earth. And for that matter, how much we have respected the forest dwellers, how much we have recognized in the first place as to what the forest dwellers, indigenous people, broadly you'll say, how much they had been contributing towards, well, maintaining the climate balance. We can always take, well, a cue from them and proceed ahead in, of course, in our other progressions, other developments also. Our development is never required to be and not necessarily always contradicting the requirements of, well, maintaining what is originally available, given by Mother Earth to us and is available. Our legal systems have been responsive. The legal systems of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and other surrounding countries, they do take care of the requirements of maintaining a balance between development and ecology. What is needed, friends, at this point of time now is the synergy of all our efforts, because individuals' effort, probably we are too late in the day to think that individuals' effort may make a difference. Yes, an individual is a constituent ultimately of even a conference also, even for a gathering or a society also. But then what we need to do, what I am emphasizing is the collaborative efforts, the cohesiveness, the synergy of our efforts. Friends, it's so far as the horrors and so far as the problems posed by climate changes are concerned, much has been said, talked about, discussed, and our discourses are well replete with the problems which and we all are by this time probably over-educated about the problems. The requirement is now to look for the solutions, friends. So far as well, the problem part when we talk about, well, I was reminded of saying from somebody like Stephen Hawking also, who on the great physicist who on one hand was propounding that there may be more than one universe, and then each universe may have different histories also. But coming to Mother Earth, what this he had to say, and I quote, what he said was that one can see from space how the human race has changed the earth. Nearly all of the available land has been cleared of forest and is now used for agriculture or urban development. The polar ice caps are shrinking and the desert areas are increasing. At night, the earth is no longer dark, but large areas are lit up. All of this is the evidence that human exploitation of the planet is reaching a critical limit. But human demands and expectations are ever increasing. We cannot continue to pollute the atmosphere, poison the ocean, and exhaust the land. There isn't any more available. Friends, to put it more tersely, Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, in his one-liner would say that we are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change and last who can do something about it. Friends, it's but sure that our reason is, well, not in any way, well, remaining unaffected by climate change, because this is a global phenomenon. But friends, our reason, as I said, the common factor is that it had been always a confluence of civilizations. We respect each other immensely. And when we take climate change also, we take it as a common threat, a common enemy. It has been created by some of our actions and a lot of our omissions. Now the time has come to act on what we have omitted to act. And the first and foremost would be of responding to each other. Respect we do have for each other. Responding is needed. I'm sure the takeaways of this colloquium particularly would be that we collaborate with clarity, we constantly connect and communicate to develop camaraderie to meet the challenges. Else, so far as challenges are concerned, this reason is not only having the blessings of earth, but the fury of nature are also not unknown to here. to this region, earthquakes to tsunami, cyclones to dust storms, locust attacks to local conflicts. We know we had been dealing with all these aspects. So always, and we would continue to do with it, whatever are the challenges. Friends, if we put in dealing with these kind of challenges, our energies together, well, we are sure we would definitely look forward for a better tomorrow, look forward for a different world. To the law students, friends, when we are coming to the close, and I'm sure particularly the participants must be keenly looking forward for me to finish so that the results could be declared and they could get the fruits of their labor. So I would be ending here with all my very best to all of you, with compliments to to Lloyd Law College for having organized such event. To the law students, and of course this is for the others also. There is just one aspect I wanted to share with this gathering, that the students of law today are going to be the teachers, lawyers, judges of tomorrow. There are certain basics for any particular person dealing with law and thereby becoming a leader of the society on whom the society looks at for advices, for showing the correct path. Mahabharat, the epic, apart from carrying the stories about the war and conflicts, after ending of the war, carries Shanti Parva. And in Shanti Parva, there are instructions given to Yudhishthir, the new king, as to whom he would be taking as the advisors in his working. What is given to, and that applies particularly for anybody who would be advising, to the sovereign, and here the people are the sovereign when we have democracies. So the advisors, what they asked for, what they looked for, is beautifully stated in Shanti Parva of Mahabharata, that the person should be, and that applies to all law students and anybody who is going to be the advisor of the society. He has to be well versed in Vyavhara. Vyavhara is the first thing, that is the law regulating the judicial proceedings, and Dharma, that is the law on all topics. He has to be a profound scholar. Then he has to be well versed in law of evidence. He has to be law abiding. And the basic trait was that he should have fully studied the principles of logic, and then he should take logic to the administration of justice. Friends, as was being talked about, a lawyer's reasoning is always conditioned, is always based by logic. And once we put logic of everything into our conceptions, logic of everything into, in our propositions, in our thoughts, we always come out with the innovative ideas, the inventions, which is again the hallmark of this reason. I'm sure our reason, each of us, the countries individually, would go on marching ahead, and collectively we would be able to, well, deal with any of the challenges that are posed, whether by the nature or by any other circumstances, and collectively we will march, all of us, together. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Your Lordship. I now request Dr. Lisa Pelukos, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University and National Administrator, India, to please declare the result of the competition.
Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge Supreme Court of India, Professor S. Shivakumar, Senior Professor and South Asian Mooting Administrator, Sri R. Venkatramani, Senior Advocate and Chief Advisor, Mr. Manohar Teirani, President, Lloyd Law College, Sri Ramakrishna Menon, Advocate Devi Prakash, Country Heads, National Administrators from SARC region, Professor Mohammad Salim, Director, Lloyd Law College, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, Deputy Director and Organizing Secretary, Dr. Madhava Sharma, Dr. Kavida, Dr. Navaneet and other faculty members, student coordinators and students of Lloyd. Most importantly, the participants of the competition and the colloquium from the South Asian region. On behalf of the organizing committee, I sincerely thank all the teams who enthusiastically participated and made this competition a grand success. As the saying goes, there are no secrets to success. Great achievement is never by mere chance. It is the result of hard work, perseverance, and directly proportionate to the efforts. I consider it as my privilege to announce the winners of the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition and Law Students Conference 2021. There are 4 sets of awards for the Best Research Papers, Best Memorials, Best Team in Oral Rounds, and Best Student Advocate. With the permission of our Chief Guest, Honorable Lordship, let me announce the result of Law Students Conference on the topic COVID-19 pandemic, ethical, social, and legal issues. 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Law Students Conference 2021 Best Presenter Runner-Up Award. There is a tie in this course. 2 teams have been graded by the evaluators and the judges with the same marks. The runner-up teams are SARC Law 62147, Kandahar University, Afghanistan, and the researcher is Menon Tawakur, and also SARC Law 92286, University of Asia Pacific, Dhaka, Bangladesh, SM Amanullahe Aman. Now let me move to 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Law Students Conference 2021 Best Presenter Award, again shared by 2 teams. SARC Law 87578, School of Law, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun, India. Researcher's name is Neha Vermani. The next team is SARC Law 91356, Tamil Nadu National Law University, India, Hari Narayan K.
कैमरा बंद किया सर, कुछ चेंज नहीं किया.
It's Hari Narayan K. As per the request of the evaluators and the judges, we are awarding a special appreciation award, 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Law Students Conference 2021 Special Appreciation Award to SARC Law 6904, Mariam Shibna from the Maldives National University. Maldives National University, Mariam Shimna. Let me announce the results of Best Memorial. Second Best Memorial, this is being shared between SARC Law 87578 and SARC Law 52867. SARC Law 87578, School of Law, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, And the team consists of Pangude Tripathi, Madhuravalli K, and Neha Vomani. Circular 52867, Army Institute of Law, Mohali, India. Team consists of Rufpreet Kaur Dariwal, Kritika, and Yashwardhan Singh. Best Memorial 18738 31719. Again, we have two teams here. Amity University, Dubai, UAE, and Eastern University, Bangladesh. Team from Amity University, Dubai consists of Sandra Tijani Sadish Fernando, Nimi Mariam Sa, and Sangeeta Roy. Eastern University, Bangladesh, consisting of Raiful Muhammad Chowdhury, Himika Mir Tabazum, and Absana Yusuf Subdi. Results of Best Student Advocate. Best Student Advocate Female, Sarklo 50827, University School of Law and Legal Studies, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, New Delhi, Mahima Tayal. Best Student Advocate Male, Sarklo 01525, East West University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, RKM Rabin Ahmad. Rabin Ahmad from East West University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Let us move to the most awaited result of final rounds. It's my pleasure to announce 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon, South Asian Mooting Competition 2021 winning team. Sarklo 62307, School of Law, Shastra Deemed University, Tamil Nadu. Team consisting of Tajusani CB, Pavitra M, and Kavita Ravi. 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon, South Asian Mooting Competition 2021 runner-up, Sarklo 54943, Faculty of Law, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Team consists of Nisara Devangi Vikrama Singhe, Tarushi Gengani Galala Gamage, Mahamalage Lourdit Ashnika Pereira. Heartiest congratulations to all the participants and all the winners. Thanks to everyone, especially the adjudicators and evaluators. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Muhammad Salim, Director, Lloyd Law College and General Coordinator, South Asian Mooting Competition, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present over here. Good evening, Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, sir, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Lordship, we are extremely thankful for expressing your thoughts and sharing with all of us something which was required, something which was very necessary, and explaining to all of us and taking all of us towards something which is which required an attention from the highest bench of our country and from the judges of the Supreme Court, which is about climate change, and how the sensitivity of this issue has to be felt by the teachers, law schools, legal educators, and legal students of law, and how students of law and legal regulators and law teachers must have to take into consideration the whole science, arts, and commerce of climate change, and how your guidance must be going to be a memorable day, a memorable one, to all the students, all the participants, and all the people who are present over here from Lloyd College, from all other parts of the South Asian region, from Dubai, from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh, from Nepal, from Bhutan, from Maldives, and all the people who have joined today. Your an extremely meaningful insight about the climate change, insight about how this region is playing an important role and can play a significant role in the present and future time, like India has played a key role in the uh, in the process of eradication of pandemic by developing a vaccine uh, which has made India a global phenomena, a global hero uh, in the whole world, in the form of development and supply of vaccine in the whole world, and how the regulators in India have controlled uh, contracted the spread of the disease to much larger portions of our country. Your insight about the heights of Himalayas and the depth of Sri Lanka and Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal and all those parts, how the discussions about the important issues of the global community could be discussed and have been discussed through the judges colloquium and a students conference. Your guidance will especially play a pivotal role in the development of our legal education, in the development of the profession and practice of all the advocates who have joined today, future advocates who have joined today and practicing, and all these advocates who have been studying in all the law schools in India and all parts of the South Asian region must be taking great uh, cues and great lessons from your speech today, which is an exceptionally meaningful speech by which we will take it ahead, and all of them will take it ahead to make sure that these lessons will be meaningfully implemented and meaningfully uh, taken up to control all the professions and all the practices in all the region and all the countries and everywhere in the world. Lordship, we are extremely thankful to you for accepting our invitation, joining us today, delivering something and giving us lessons on something which is extremely meaningful to the whole community and society and humanity and Homo sapiens at large. Thank you so much, Lordship, for such a expressing and such a nice speech delivered today. Thank you, Lordship. I'm extremely thankful to the presence of Professor Dr. S. Sivakumar, sir, Senior Professor, Indian Law Institute, former member, Law Commission of India, Honorary South Asian Mooting Administrator, for making this competition reaching to the end and guiding us all through this path in last 6-7 years. And we all are thankful from law school side, from student side, from faculty side, and from all of us for his guidance, for always covering his good wishes and his guidance to all of us. Thank you so much, Honorable Professor Sir. I'm thankful to the presence of and support of our own Mr. Manohar Thairani sir, President Lloyd Law College and Chairperson Founding Committee South Asian Mooting Competition. Sir has always been giving all kind of support and freedom and all kind of motivation and guidance to us in all these years, and we wish to have the same guidance and continuance of better and taking this competition to the global heights and more continents of the world in the under the leadership of Mr. Manohar Thairani sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm extremely thankful to the presence and delivering a very important discussion about the Thinking Like a Lawyer, the book which is a masterpiece of our time, written by Frederick Scheuer, which is a kind of a dictionary to all the modern legal education faculties, teachers, law school, and students. Something which is like a dictionary, like a go-to book, and referring from there that how legal education has to move from law in books to the law in practice, law in motion, law in action, and sir's words and guidance, and always taking out time for our law school and always giving motivation and support to all of us is exceptional. And not only this law school, but sir has always been guiding all the law schools in India and abroad, and is always been supportive to the legal education at large. So it is his always an endeavor, and we are extremely thankful, and we are extremely we are extremely benefited by sir's guidance and motivation to all of us. Thank you so much, Advocate Venkat Ramani sir. I'm extremely thankful to the presence and guidance of Dr. Lisa P. Lucas, ma'am, Professor Guru Gobind Singh Professor University and National Administrator India, for taking up this competition at every step, at every level, and taking and doing all that is a kind of a guidance to us, and all that is something which can only be done by her, and something which is the most important from the perspective of keeping the qualitative and global standards in this competition. Ma'am's contribution in this competition from the beginning every year until the end today in the valedictory session in all 6 competition in all these 6 years, and the time to come is extremely valuable. And her insight on each and every aspect, every minor details that she always share and she always convey and she always look upon is something which has taken our law school, our students, our fraternity, our faculty, our law school, and me personally to be something which we always learn from her, and we always cherish to continue to learn from her. Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa ma'am. I'm thankful to the contribution and support of our own Deputy Director, sir, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Khan, sir, and Dr. Madhukar Sharma, sir, have always been contributing immensely and unconditional, unimaginable 24-hour support from all corners in every respect. It is always a pleasure. It is always a dream to have such a team with us of the people like Dr. Akhilesh sir and Dr. Madhukar sir, and all the faculty members who are with us over here in this competition. I'm extremely thankful to all of them, Professor Tasneem, Professor Avantika, Professor Navneet, Professor Nimesh Das Guru, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh, Dr. Kavita Chalakkal, my team of IT people with Anjani sir and Mr. Mukesh, and all other people who are working day and night and making this competition and legal education process and all this meaningful for all the students and participants of this competition. I'm extremely thankful to all these team members. I'm thankful to Mr. Ravi Prakash sir, who has always been taking this competition forefront of his work and keeping all of his work in court and all other work which is in front of him to be secondary, and keeping the work of this competition in all these time in national round and international round to be at the forefront and always being present on 24-hour basis and making each and every minor details and filling all the gaps and making possible that the competition, Mooting competition, the judges colloquium, the students conference, everything have a stamp of his excellence. I'm extremely thankful to him for always being thoughtful, for always being providing an exceptional intellectual support in all these programs, and making this competition a unique competition in the world, which is gathering the insight of the judges, which is gathering the experience and expertise of the advocates, which is gathering the the best talent of the law students from South Asian countries, and all these jointly being benefited by the insight of Mr. Ravi Prakash, and this platform which is created by our guides and mentors made this happen, that law students should be benefited at large in this program. Thank you, Mr. Ravi Prakash sir, for all the work that you always do unconditionally for legal fraternity of students and advocates. Thank you, sir. I'm thankful to the presence of the country heads of the South Asian Mooting competition, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ahmadullah, sir, Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Tara Prasad Sapkota, sir, from Nepal, Professor V.T. Thamil Maran, sir, from Sri Lanka. Dear professors, we are always thankful to you for all your support over the last many years, and we wish to enjoy and have the pleasure of your support always for this competition and many more endeavors of this law school. I'm extremely thankful to the support of national administrators, Mr. Prashanta B. Barua, sir, from Bangladesh, Mr. Lobsang Rinzin Yarge, sir, from Bhutan, Dr. Mariam Jabin from Maldives, Mr. Kesar Mani Aryal from Nepal, Mrs. Indra P. Samarsinghe from Sri Lanka, and Dr. Sagi Geetha Sethu from Dubai. Dear professors, we are extremely thankful to you for all your support in this program, and we will continue to have communication and connection with you for the support and assistance to the students and fraternity of the legal fraternity of this region. And with your support, we will take this competition to the better heights and global levels. In the end, I must have to say thanks to my student coordinators who have given their every effort, every skill, every knowledge, every bit of their time to make this competition a success, a huge success. To mention few of them, apart from around 200 students have been volunteering for this competition since last two months. So I'm thankful to all the 200 students, from the hospitality to organizing committee to communication committee to court masters to IT in charge to court in charge, to all the students who have been doing the best of their job, best of their efforts, giving their time. And I hope the kind of speech which our chief guest, Honorable Lordship has delivered is the best prize that we all could get on this memorable day. The effort that all our students have put up is extremely paid back by the kind of speech which our chief guest Lordship has delivered to all of us. The lessons which Lordship has given to us is a befitting payment to all of us for the effort that we all have done. Thank you so much, Lordship, for such an expressive speech. I'm thankful to the team of Mr. Aman Kumar, Mr. Shubham Anand, Ashish Kumar Rai, John Santosh, Ishan Jain, Ms. Mansi Shivastava, Ms. Adrita Rawat, and Mr. Om Singhania. I remember all of you have been working day and night for this competition in India round as well, in the SARC round as well. And I just wish that you are someone who are prized people. And I hope you must have learned in this process. And I am sure that this learning will take you to the better levels in legal learning process, legal professional practice, and will take you to better levels in profession and practice and life. Thank you so much, my dear students. I'm thankful to all of you for all the support. Thank you so much. Thank you. Harmansha.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee, management, staff, and students of Lloyd Law College, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to each of you for joining the valedictory function of the 6th Professor N.R. Madhava Menon South Asian Mooting Competition, Law Students Conference and Colloquium 2020-21. With permission from the chief guest, may we now end the program.
Thank you, Lordship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship.
Thanks, everybody. A wonderful,
Thank you.
wonderful organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lordship. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Take leave, sir.
Okay, okay.